But see what this one says.
Unafraid Show daily live. Oh, y'all thought y'all was just on TikTok having a good time? Well, politics have gotten in TikTok's way just like they do in sports. And optimal video game strategy has actually taken over sports. And who knew that the kids playing the games actually had the right idea? And should NFL playoffs be played in bad weather? This has been a debate. I think it should. And pocket passers are absolutely dead. Mobile quarterbacks are the future. If your quarterback can't move, then you can't move on to the Super Bowl. And we're going to have a live show tonight after the national championship. You guys keep it locked here on Unafraid Show. Make sure that you like, subscribe, get notifications, and tell a friend about the show. And most importantly, share. Let's get to it. It amazes me how much better kids are at high level strategy when it comes to sports than coaches are, and how quickly that they are willing to adapt to it. Because when you look at how video games are played, they've actually been way ahead of the curve. Like, think about going to go play NBA 2K when you were playing Madden. I remember that we actually had to put rules in. Well, we didn't have to, but we put rules in that because people would be so aggressive on fourth down. They would be going for it in their own territory. And we was like, yo, until you cross the 40, you gotta punt the ball. Because we wanted to play some sort of regular traditional football. And when I play my son in NCAA, this dude, my 13-year-old, dude refuses to punt. Period. He's not punting and he's not kicking field goals, not even to win the game. He is going for it, pedal to the metal, going for the gusto, everything. So kids don't even understand necessarily the analytics of things. They just understand the golden rule of sports, and particularly in football. Fortune favors the aggressive. So think about how many kids, or you yourself, how many times that you've seen them playing hyper aggressive, like we're going for it, going for it, going for it. And then you think about also in football, the pass centric offense. Think about that. The pass centric offense that you are going to sit up there and throw the ball way more than you're going to run it. Now, granted, you do have to be able to run it to win, but most people just stand up there and they're going to toss the ball around all over the place. Turns out that's an optimal strategy in football. And look at basketball. Think about how in video games, how many three pointers people chuck up in NBA 2K or NBA Live or whatever NBA game that you play, because you understood that the three was actually more valuable than the 2 point game, and that you can shoot a lesser percentage from two than you do from three, and you can still end up being like that you're going to win the basketball game. And if you can perfect your 3 point shooting, now you are dangerous, because now you can drop, which is the NBA now, dunks and 3 pointers. Mid range is gone. And that's exactly the way that video games are played. Now in soccer, same thing. Passing centric soccer, same thing. So it's amazing how video games have actually forecast how football and just sports in general is played. So maybe, and really how slow the leagues and coaches have been to adapting to that sort of philosophy. Now, granted, they are bought all into the philosophy now, but it took so long. Like this is stuff that's been going on since I was in college, that way of playing. And then you had a few smart people that were like, damn, it's actually a lot easier to play football on offense when you act like, when you call plays and you behave like you have 4 downs to get a first down instead of 3 downs to get a first down. Now, the Lions have implemented that strategy. You have college teams that go for it at record paces compared to other eras of college football and in the NFL. The numbers support it, and there's a reason why. So we actually have to be keep our minds open when it comes to strategy and gameplay. So the next time you are trying to figure out what's next on the horizon, go watch some kids play a video game. Go watch them play, and you will find the answer for what's going to be next in the world of sports. All right, speaking of football though, the NFL playoffs were played, and we had some. Obviously, all the games are meaningful because you're playing for a Super Bowl at that point in time. We had Eagles, Rams, Ravens, Bills, Commanders, Lions, Chiefs, Texans, and three of those games were impacted by the weather, and whether it's cold, snowing, wind, any of that. And then the question was asked: should football be played in bad weather? The answer is yes, 100%, because this is how God intended football to be played. It is literally a tough guy sport. You and coaches will tell y'all that, hey, we'll line them up anywhere. We'll play in the parking lot. Well, then mean it. Well, then mean it. Don't get to complaining about the elements. Oh, the wind bothered us, the rain. Yes, 100%. But there are three reasons why football should be played in bad weather and kind of the impacts and things surrounding it. Number one, I actually love football in bad weather, but it does not necessarily give you the result of who's necessarily the better team. It goes to which team is more adaptable and which team can play more perfect, if you will. Because if you turn the ball over, you're going to lose. If you can protect the football and make a few plays when it matters the most and not commit penalties, you are going to win the game. Because it is a totally different game playing in bad weather or in cold and wind or in the extreme heat than anything else. And number two, there is literally no difference in playing in extreme heat or extreme cold because both teams should actually get the benefit of their home field advantage. Prime example, if you go down to Miami in September or you go down to Miami in January and it's a heat wave and it's 70 degrees and humid, who has the advantage then? Miami or a team coming from Buffalo, team coming from New England, team coming from Baltimore, like any place where it's actually cold. Miami has an advantage, right? In the beginning of the year and in the end of the year, if the elements so dictate and line up right. So, how is that any difference than if you go up to Foxborough in January, you go up to Buffalo, you go to Kansas City? How does it matter? Yes, it's a big deal, but so is playing in extreme heat, playing in Arizona outside in college football. Well, they should all play in domes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's the leads me to the third thing. And the third thing is people always want to take the easy way out. Suck it up. It's hard. Play with your troubles. Just like my Oregon Ducks got Ohio State in the first round of the playoffs, and everybody's like, oh, the number one team shouldn't have the hardest route. Yeah, you're probably true, but so what? So what? You got to play with the hand that you're dealt. And trying to make it more sanitized for everybody is lame. Is lame. Oh, let's put everybody in domes so it's comfortable for no, man. That's actually one of the things that makes like iconic games are extreme weather conditions, like all sorts of things are the things that make iconic days, days that you will never forget. Nobody is gonna forget the negative 13-degree Dallas Cowboy Green Bay game, the Ice Bowl. You got in 1967. You got negative 9 degrees, Chargers Bengals in 82. You got the Miami Dolphins Kansas City game last year, negative 4 degrees. Did that hurt the Miami Dolphins? Yes. Did it help Kansas City? Yes. Should Miami have won more games if they wanted to host a home playoff game and have their advantage? 100%. So I feel sorry for nobody. If you want home field advantage, then win. Because the weather absolutely impacted those games. Just like not playing outside impacted the Lions and Commanders game. Those things matter. And now we've got after the Eagles beat the Rams 28-22, Ravens beat the Bills beat the Ravens 27-25, Commanders beat the Lions 45-31, and the Texans beat the Chiefs beat the Texans 23-14. So we are now left with a couple of narratives. And I want to know, you guys can smash it in the comments. Which narrative are you most excited about? Number one, the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. Because that is a very real reality at this time. They got to win 2 games and a three-peat. First time in NFL history. Do you like that narrative the best? Or, well, and that's after they beat the Texans. And the second one, Buffalo finally getting a Super Bowl ring. How does that feel to you? Does that get you all excited and all titillated and all, making sure that everything is happy for you? Do you like that narrative? Josh Allen winning, the Golden Boy gets his ring. Does that make you feel good? Or does the rookie, Jaden Daniels, winning a Super Bowl ring, how does that make you feel? Because this ain't one of them Ben Roethlisbergers they're winning in spite of him. They're they're winning partially because, well, a big portion of that is Jaden Daniels. His decision making, his running, playmaking ability, all of those things. Or the fourth thing is, and this has to do with the Eagles, the Giants general manager needing to be fired. Joe Schoen, I saw a video of his 13-year-old son when he was asking his kid on Hard Knocks, "Hey, who should we draft?" He's like, "Bruh, draft Jaden Daniels." And he's like, "Well, I don't know if he's gonna be there." And the kid's like, "Well, listen, trade up, trade all your picks," because he said, "Dad, you only get this job once. Go for it." And then he was like, "Well, or you can draft Malik Neighbors, you can draft Drake May." He named somebody else. He was like, "You can't miss." But he was like, "Go get Jaden Daniels." And you know what he did? Drafted a wide receiver who is very good, but you still are without a quarterback, and you let Saquon Barkley walk and sign Daniel Jones instead of franchise tagging Daniel Jones and paying Saquon Barkley. You would have saved $30 million doing the other way. This made no sense. So which one of those narratives feels better to you? Kansas City three-peat, Buffalo finally getting the Super Bowl, Jaden Daniels as a rookie winning a Super Bowl, or the Giants general manager literally gifting the Philadelphia Eagles a Super Bowl? Which one? Which one feels the best to you? So to me, I want Kansas City to do the three-peat because I just absolutely love it. But let's talk on Kansas City for a minute because there's a lot of people who look at Kansas City and they're like, "See, look, the refs always cheap for them. They get the benefit of every single thing happening, all the calls." Does Kansas City sometimes get called? Well, actually, it's not even that they get more calls than everybody else because the numbers, people have broken this down time and time again. Kansas City is actually one of the teams in the league that has the least amount of holding calls called for them. Like like Chris Jones and the defense get holding one of the least amount of rates in the entire league. Okay? So that knocks that theory out. But it's the timeliness of the calls. And this has to do with a few things. Number one, Kansas City does not beat themselves. They don't hit the quarterback late. They don't necessarily get a lot of holding penalties. They are they just don't do stupid stuff in general. They don't fumble the ball too much when it matters. They usually play very very clean, which is why they win close games. When other teams make mistakes, like Baltimore did in the game against the Bills, they don't make those, and that's why they win those games. And that's exactly why Lamar Jackson was upset at the end of their game, at the end of the Ravens game. He was like, "Man, we every time we get in this position, we make mistakes, and we got to fix that. We got to hold on to the ball and all of that," because he understands that that's the reason why they're not winning playoff games. It's got nothing to do with anything else. They have to play not even mistake free football, but just minimal mistake football. Make the other team beat you. Don't beat yourself, particularly in bad weather when it's going to be hard to score as well. So those things matter. And then, so Josh Allen. So Josh Allen is the man that the league and the media, they want him to win. That's who they want to win. I'm telling you that because he is the golden boy. He is the guy that they've pointed to. And people are like, this could be the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen, the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen. And I want to juxtapose the difference between how Josh Allen's game in the conference championship is viewed compared to Jalen Hurts. Let's talk about that because Jalen Hurts, who threw for 128 yards and then rushed for another 70 yards and a touchdown, right? The narrative of him is, oh, he's just a running back playing quarterback. He didn't do anything special and all of this. But then Josh Allen, oh my God, he's the hero. Look at Josh Allen, 127 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Oh, the same as Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen, another 10 carries for 20 yards and 2 touchdowns. Look at the way he led his team, carried him on his back. Hmm. Hmm. How is that different? It's not. These are narratives. These are things. These are talking points. This is just like I told y'all last year with the whole Russell Wilson sucks thing. I was like, Russell Wilson's not as good as he was, but he didn't suck in Denver. Totally different. Coach was against him. Media was against him. It made a bad situation look even worse because people hold on to the low hanging fruit. And that's what they want to, gravitate to. So I just want you to point out the difference between those two things and how Lamar Jackson is viewed versus Josh Allen is viewed. Because Josh Allen they really played game manager football in this game. They've been playing game manager all season. Josh Allen has not been superheroing outside of running the football, which is the same thing that he would be criticized for and have his abilities limited if that were the case. All right. In just a second, we will talk about how pocket quarterback passing is dead and the days of the traditional pocket pass are over. But I want to talk about TikTok for just a second because this was hilarious because TikTok is back. All content creators, including myself, got our page back. So we are happy, right? It was hilarious to me because this is partisan politics at its best. This is sports in politics. This is sports in TikToking in social media. The same thing. And this has almost made me want to join, not the stick to sports crowd, but nah, y'all political people, y'all stick to your politics. Stick to your politics. Don't bring them over here to my TikTok. Don't bring them over here to my sports, right? It almost makes me join that. But then I remember, hold up, sports and politics have always been intertwined. Going back to Jesse Owens and the Olympics, where he was fighting for his rights here when he got back to the United States. Same thing with Kurt Flood and free agency. Tom Brady suing the league. You got NCAA versus everybody. The Mitchell Report. Sports have always been involved in politics. And now we got our social media involved in politics. And this was the reason why this was funny to me, right? And I've told people I don't vote along party lines, so don't get to calling me, oh, he's a liberal, he's a conservative, he's a Republican, he's a Democrat. Don't try to guess, you will break your brain. So, and here are the two latest examples of partisan politics playing their way into our life. And all I'm calling is for truth tellers. And this is not to call out the conservatives and uh, Republicans. No, this is just a call because the Democrats do it the exact same way. So, but these are the latest two examples that we've had. So we have now President Trump, Inauguration Day. You go back to 2020. He was calling for a ban of TikTok, literally. And now that TikTok actually, now that everybody actually got on board with what he was talking about, now he's the new president. Now he's going to come back on board and save the day. He's the hero. He literally, that's no different than out here in California. A fireman starting a fire and then going to go putting it out and then getting a medal, being like, see, look, I put it out. And this ain't even, see, this isn't about Trump. This is just about the way that our media portrays these things and how partisan politics you can find a million examples of Democrats doing the exact same thing. And we have very few political people who are actually, really trying to be honesty brokers and stand on something regardless of whether it's for their party or against their party. And then the second thing that we had happen was all the talk this week. Michelle Obama is going to miss President Trump's inauguration. This is bad. This is terrible. She's not good. Peaceful transfer of power, all of this stuff. President Trump didn't even go to President Biden's. So why is this even a big deal? Just shut up about it. She didn't want to go. Who cares? Who cares? So you want to make Trump the bad guy, or you want to make Michelle Obama the bad guy? Whatever, dude. They both have missed. So what? Move on your own time. Everybody gets to make their decisions. I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. And this is why I said I want to get to the stick to politics thing. Y'all stick to politics. Let us TikTok. Let us YouTube. Let us sports. And y'all mind y'all own business because we don't like it over there. All right. Last thing that we got up today is that pocket quarterbacks are dead. The traditional pocket passer is dead. If your QB can't move, your team cannot move on in the NFL playoffs. They cannot. Just look at going into the last game yesterday. The NFL quarterbacks and their rushing yards this season. You had Lamar Jackson, 915 yards coming into the game. Jaden Daniels, 891. Jalen Hurts over 600 yards. Josh Allen over 500 yards. Patrick Mahomes almost to 400 yards. And that was going into the last game yesterday. And you know who didn't move on? Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford. As who did not move on. Those days of Stafford, Goff, Cousins, even Russell Wilson now, where he doesn't run like he used to, those days are over. And that's the difference between Aaron Rodgers now and Aaron Rodgers 10 years ago. Aaron Rodgers was a mobile quarterback. And do not dismiss or mistake mobile with a runner. Those two things are completely different because Aaron Rodgers was a mobile quarterback. And don't think that a mobile quarterback means that you are Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen with the way that they're doing. No, 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 no. You know who's mobile? Bo Nix. You know who's mobile? Even Baker Mayfield. You know who's mobile? Kyler Murray. Even Brock Purdy rushed for 323 yards this year. This is the new wave of football. And it's so funny because we were told for so long traditional pocket quarterback. And now we are watching. We have three black quarterbacks that are going to be in the conference finals and Josh Allen. But all of them have the same thing in common. They are mobile quarterbacks. And there was so long that the position, when athletes were playing the position and they would get moved out of the position because they didn't know how to deal with their athleticism outside of the running back, wide receiver, DB positions. And now offensive coordinators like, oh damn, it's actually a little bit easier when my quarterback can move and there's a threat to run. Oh, it frees everybody else up because now the defense has to account for the quarterback on run plays. They always have to account for him escaping out of the pocket. You got to leave a spy on him. That's one more person who can't be in pass defense. It's just the reality of it. This is the way that the game is built now. The game has changed. All them statue quarterbacks, man, them fools are done. It is boys to men end of the road for them. And anybody, and I remember, and I was just telling the story to my boy the other day. There was a guy that I played with, and this is the perception of quarterbacks in general. There was a guy that I played with when I was in the UFL in Vegas, black guy, DB. And this is how far that we've come in terms of quarterback play and the perception of quarterbacks and how quarterbacking is supposed to look. I remember this dude told me, we were at a friend of mine's birthday party, and he said, hey, and we were talking about quarterbacks, and he was like, man, I don't want a black quarterback. If I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, give me a white quarterback. It was shocking, mind blowing to me. He was like, yeah, because all them black guys, they all want to run, and we need somebody to stand back there and throw it. And mind you, this is probably like 8, 9 years ago. So, and I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, black quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. I was like, Russell Wilson just won. He's like, yeah, but that's different. He combs his hair instead of brushes it. I'm like, bro, get out of here with this dumb shit. And then I'm like, do you not understand that for so long, the position was forced to be that of like that's where they put people that couldn't move but wanted to play football, but could process information. That's where they put them at quarterback. And then at that point in time, you had so many black quarterbacks in college football. Who do you think is then going to become your NFL quarterbacks? And then once you have the college system trickling up to the NFL because they realize quarterbacks can play earlier as they're learning the pass game in the NFL, everything else. Life has changed in football, and we have to acknowledge that. And this is the mobile quarterback era, not just the running quarterback era. And do you know what? It will never, ever, ever go back. Just like the 3 yards in a cloud of dust is never coming back in football. This is the way football will be played from here on out. So if you are a high school football coach, or if you are a college football coach, NFL court, do not go looking for your Kirk Cousins. Do not go looking for your, what Aaron Rodgers is now compared to what he was. Don't go look for your Matthew Staffords. Are there going to be some guys that trickle in every now and then that are just that good? Yes. But you know what? They're not going to have success unless they can move. This is just the truth. Well, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a unicorn. This man is the second greatest quarterback of all time behind Patrick Mahomes. Just saying. And you guys, that's the Unafraid Show. Daily live. Make sure that you guys come back tonight after the national championship. Peace out. Catch you guys later.